Life and legacy of Avicenna. Ibn Sina, commonly known in the West as Avicenna, was a preeminent philosopher and physician of the Muslim world, flourishing during the Islamic Golden Age, serving in the courts of various Iranian rulers. He is often described as the father of early modern medicine. His philosophy was of the peripatetic school derived from Aristotelianism. The Europeans called him the Prince of Physicians. His most famous works are the Book of Healing, a philosophical and scientific encyclopedia, and the Canon of Medicine, a medical encyclopedia which became a standard medical text at many medieval European universities and remained in use as late as 1650. Besides philosophy and medicine, Avicenna's corpus includes writings on astronomy, alchemy, geography and geology, psychology, Islamic theology, logic, mathematics, physics, and works of poetry. Avicenna wrote most of his philosophical and scientific works in Arabic, but also wrote several key works in Persian, while his poetic works were written in both languages. Of the 450 works he is believed to have written, around 240 have survived, including 150 on philosophy and 40 on medicine. Avicenna was born in 980 in the village of Afshana in Transoxiana, eastern Uzbekistan, to a Persian family. The village was near the Samanid capital of Bukhara, which was his mother's hometown. His father was a native of the city of Balkh in Bactria. An official of the Samanid bureaucracy, he had served as the governor of a village of the royal estate of Harmatan near Bukhara during the reign of Natu. Avicenna also had a younger brother. A few years later, the family settled in Bukhara, a center of learning, which attracted many scholars. It was there that Avicenna was educated. Avicenna was first schooled in the Quran and literature, and by the age of 10, he had memorized the entire Quran. He was later sent by his father to an Indian greengrocer, who taught him arithmetic. Afterwards, he was schooled in fiqh by the Hanafi jurist. Sometime later, his father invited a physician and philosopher to their house to educate Ibn Sina. Together, they studied the isagogy of Porphyry and possibly the categories of Aristotle as well. After Avicenna had read the Almagest of Ptolemy and Euclid's Elements, his teacher told him to continue his research independently. By the time Avicenna was 18, he was well educated in Greek sciences. At the age of 17, Avicenna was made a physician of Natu. By the time Avicenna was at least 21 years old, his father died. He was subsequently given an administrative post, possibly succeeding his father as the governor of Harmatan. Avicenna later moved to Gurganj, the capital of Khwarezm, which he reports that he did due to necessity. Due to his high position and strong connection with the Samanids, Ibn Sina may have found himself in an unfavorable position after the fall of his suzerain. Avicenna later moved due to necessity once more, this time to the west. There he traveled through the Khurasani cities of Nassa, Abivard, Tus, Samangan and Jajarm. He was planning to visit the ruler of the city of Gorgan, a cultivated patron of writing, whose court attracted many distinguished poets and scholars. However, when Avicenna eventually arrived, he discovered that the ruler had been dead. Avicenna then left Gorgan for Dihstan, but returned after becoming ill. There he met Abu Ubaid al-Juzjani, who became his pupil and companion. Avicenna stayed briefly in Gorgan, reportedly serving Qabus's son and successor Manichaeir, and resided in the house of a patron. In 1014, Avicenna went to the city of Ray. There he served as the physician at the court, treating Mad al-Dawla, the last ruler of the Buyid Amirate of Ray, who was suffering from melancholia. Avicenna reportedly later served as the business manager in Qazvin and Hamadan. During this period, Avicenna finished writing the Canon of Medicine and started writing The Book of Healing. In 1015, during Avicenna's stay in Hamadan, he participated in a public debate, as was customary for newly arrived scholars in western Iran at that time. The purpose of the debate was to examine one's reputation against a prominent resident. The person whom Avicenna debated against was Abu el-Qasim al-Kermani, a member of the school of philosophers of Baghdad. The debate became heated, resulting in Ibn Sina accusing Abu al-Qasim of lack of basic knowledge in logic, while Abu al-Qasim accused Ibn Sina of impoliteness. After the debate, Avicenna sent a letter to the Baghdad Peripatetics, asking if Abu al-Qasim's claim that he shared the same opinion as them was true. Abu al-Qasim later retaliated by writing a letter to an unknown person in which he made accusations so serious that Ibn Sina wrote to Abu Sa'd, the deputy of Mad al-Dawla, to investigate the matter. The accusation made towards Avicenna may have been the same as he had received earlier, in which he was accused by the people of Hamadan of copying the stylistic structures of the Quran in his sermons on divine unity. The seriousness of this charge, in the words of the historian Peter Adamson, cannot be underestimated in the larger Muslim culture. Not long afterwards, Avicenna shifted his allegiance to the rising emir Shams al-Dawla. Avicenna had been called upon by Shams al-Dawla to treat him, but after the latter's campaign in the same year against his former ally, he forced Avicenna to become his minister. Although Avicenna would sometimes clash with Shams al-Dawla's troops, he remained minister until the latter died of colic in 1021. Avicenna was asked to stay as minister by Shams al-Dawla's son and successor Sama al-Dawla, but he instead went into hiding with his patron, Adar, to wait for better opportunities to emerge. It was during this period that Avicenna was secretly in contact with Ala al-Dawla Muhammad, ruler of the Kakuyid dynasty in Isfahan. It was during his stay at his patron's home that Avicenna completed the Book of Healing, writing 50 pages a day. The Bayid court in Hamadan, particularly the Kurdish minister Taj al-Mulk, suspected Avicenna of correspondence with Ala al-Dawla, and as a result, had the house of Adar ransacked and Ibn Sina imprisoned in the fortress of Fardajan, outside Hamadan. Juzjani blames one of Ibn Sina's informers for his capture. He was imprisoned for 4 months until Ala al-Dawla captured Hamadan, ending Sama al-Dawla's reign. Avicenna was subsequently released, and went to Isfahan, where he was well received by Ala al-Dawla. In the words of Juzjani, the Kakuyid ruler gave Avicenna the respect and esteem which someone like him deserved. Adamson also says that Avicenna's service under Ala al-Dawla proved to be the most stable period of his life. Avicenna served as the advisor, if not minister of Ala al-Dawla, accompanying him in many of his military expeditions and travels. Avicenna dedicated 2 Persian works to him, a philosophical treatise named Book of Science for Allah, and a medical treatise about the pulse. During the brief occupation of Isfahan by the Ghaznavids in January 1030, Avicenna and Ala al-Dawla relocated to the southwestern Iranian region of Khuzestan, where they stayed until the death of the Ghaznavid ruler Mahmud, which occurred 2 months later. It was seemingly when Avicenna returned to Isfahan that he started writing his pointers and reminders. In 1037, while Avicenna was accompanying Ala al-Dawla to a battle near Isfahan, he got a severe illness, having suffered from an unknown illness throughout his life. He died shortly afterwards in Hamadan, where he was buried. We hope you have enjoyed watching this video. Thank you.